I know, that'd be great. All right, so let's hop in a learning path. Okay, week 5. So we're going to be using a thing called the A-Frame VR framework. Let's take a look at this. What this does is basically allows you to do VR stuff in the browser, which is pretty slick. And the thing that this framework does, which is nice, is it takes all the ridiculously heavy work, like heavy lifting stuff of like calculating which way you're looking and calculating movements and such, and it puts it all in this framework where you don't have to do that. So it takes ridiculously complex, hard things to do and makes it a lot easier. So, so us mere mortals can do it, right? So this is their website. This is where they'll show you, they have a bunch of different examples and such. Now, from my understanding of this is it was kind of started by Mozilla, and that means that it should work very well in Firefox, and alas, it does. I've seen things created in here. I've ran it in Chrome. It kind of runs okay, but in Firefox it runs beautifully. So if things seem to be lagging or not working, or just not working, period, it could be because you're in Chrome. So try it out in Firefox. So I mean, because this is still, I don't know if cutting edge technology is really the way to say it, but like this is some new stuff. VR is like, it's here. It's amazing. If you've ever done like PlayStation VR, like Oculus or something, holy crap, it's here. Like VR is here and it's amazing. But we're still, like, especially in browser, we're still kind of taking baby steps right now. So you can see down here it's supported by Mozilla. So anyways, you got their documentation. This is where we're going to be spending a good amount, well, not a good amount of our time, but this is where you would start. The version here, there's a version number here. We're going to be using the most up-to-date. Master is kind of their alpha, beta stuff where it's still being tested. It's not stable, so we're not going to touch that. We're going to stick with the 0.0 or the 0.7.0. But in here, it kind of gives you an idea of things you can do, how to use it. I guess you can create games with it, which is cool. I've never seen any of them. But then again, I've never really surfed online with a VR headset. But the cool thing here is if you need a reference on different things you can do, it's all here. This is basically their documentation for this framework. And so these are all the different things it can do. So if you end up liking this, you're like, this is pretty cool stuff, you can always hop in their website and take a look at all the things it can do. Now, the big one here, I don't know what it is on a Mac because I don't touch those things, but this is an important hotkey that you're going to be using a lot during this assignment. So we may need to play around with it a little bit to see what it is on Mac. But this is how you get into their inspector. You can't do this until you have like a 3D project open. I'll show you how to do it once we get there. But this
command,
huh?
Command.
Yeah. Usually control and command are usually swapped out. So we'll see. We'll see when we get there. But this opens up this inspector that kind of looks like this. It's kind of like if you've ever used Maya or like some 3D program, it's basically kind of looks like that. And it gives you the positioning and rotation and scale and all that, all those different things that you're going to need to be able to position things in 3D space. But anyway, so this is what we use in A-Frame. Let's take a look at the requirements here. So you got to have at least 4 rooms. I'm going to call them rooms when really what I'm meaning is like environments. Like you're going to need 4 different areas to quote unquote explore, look around in. Not including the video room, which we'll talk about when we get there. So in total, you're going to have 5 different like places, VR spaces. Okay, you need to be able to get through each room using the cursor. The way this works is you just you'll have little buttons kind of hanging out, and you'll have a cursor that follows where you look, and then once you put that cursor over the button, it will take you to the next room. This is where it's really open. I don't care how, what, where you do this. Like, it can all be on the moon if you want. You're just gonna have to find the pictures for it. Okay, it needs to have a video room where you basically have like a 360 video all around you. So you can kind of look around in the videos just like in your face. It needs to have a button in the video room that allows you to get out of there. The point is you should be able to get to all of your rooms somehow. Okay, and in a way that makes sense. Okay, gotta have a fixed logo on each screen except for the video room that doesn't move and is always on the screen. This may be something that later on you're just gonna remove, but it's one of those things that I want to show you, hey, you can do it. And I'm gonna show you like an example before we get started so you can get an idea of what's gonna be happening here. And then you need to create just an HTML, CSS splash page that's like, hey, welcome to this VR site. Click this button to enter. It's not going to be a VR page. It's just a normal, hey, welcome, let's do this page. Okay, and then I threw that hotkey in there, Control-Alt-I will get you into the control panel. Like I said, not sure what it is on a Mac. We'll figure it out when we get there. So this brings us to, okay, images. What am I going to use? Well, I thought this was good, but now I'm finding out that I guess it's not. But let me show you. Like, I looked for a good half hour to an hour just for places that would give us good 360 images, 360-degree images. I found this, and I was like screaming hallelujah, but I guess a lot of these punks want money. What's wrong with them? Those jerks. So, like, you click here, and then it's going to kind of show you what it's like, right? So they're 360 images, so you can just kind of look all the way around. And I saw this, and I'm like, oh, great, they're awesome. They're letting us download. Hallelujah, right? So I click on it, view all sizes. So here's all the sizes that they have. Great. And then the owner has disabled downloading of their photos. I haven't looked through all of them, but I guess this is what they're saying. They're jerks. Now, this doesn't mean, and I'm not teaching you how to be evil people. But yeah, there's this thing called screenshots, snipping tool. Now, the only reason I'm saying this is because this is educational, right? And boom, I just got the image. All right, so that's all I'm going to say. You know, be responsible with this newfound power. Now, I know that Macs have a hotkey. Do you guys know what it is? You can Google it. There's a hotkey to take a screenshot. Mac screenshot. Hotkey. Command Control Shift 3. I guess.
It's down the side. Command Shift 3 screenshots the whole screen. Command Shift 4. You can select what you want to screenshot.
Okay, so 4 would be the one you'd want to do. Nice. So, but the problem is, okay, I'm sure there's people in here that are not jerks, and they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead and use mine. But man, and the thing is, there are a ton of these. There's like 20-something pages, I think. No.
What size do you recommend downloading?
Bigger the better. Because the more HD this looks, the better. Because if it's all this fuzzy, nasty image, then, you know, it's going to kill the illusion of actually being there. Now, this only has 232 pages of these. So I'm sure there's somewhere, some people in here that are like, look, I'm just contributing to my fellow humans, and you can use mine. But it looks like, I don't know, I've only looked at one. I haven't looked at more. But
the second one, let me just download for free.
Nice. So there are good people on this planet. Cool. So, you know, there's that. Now we have this one. This is like if you want to go, I don't know. This is just weird. I kind of wasn't even sure if I wanted to show you guys this because this isn't like realistic stuff. This is like weird 3D rendered stuff that will give you nightmares. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, they got creepy hands reaching out towards you and stuff. And so this is like kind of a mix of real stuff and 3D animated crap. But these are all free though, because this was actually done as like a competition or something, I think. So you can download these. I think that was the point of the competition, is to make these and give them for free. Now, you got 22 pages of these. So if you want to go a little more crazy, you can use these, go for it. And then of course we have the Wild West, which is the internet. This is the third link I gave you. It's just a Google search for VR 360 images. So you can just click on images here, and there's a bunch of them as well. You want stuff like this. You don't want things that have this dual image. That I don't think A-Frame is going to handle those very well. You want this stuff. That's like, you know, right here where it ends here matches up perfectly to where it ends over here. That's what you want. Now, I'm not requiring that you use these 360-degree images. You can just use normal ones if you want. It really doesn't matter to me. Then you got these weird ones with some lady hanging out with a rabbit. With her rabbit. Okay, weird. All right, so you're going to need 4 of these. Now, I would prefer, I'm not going to dot grades or anything, but just to have it make sense is you really want these images to follow some sort of theme. Whether it's like, hey, let's take a tour of Italy, and then you grab a bunch of 360 images of all the cool places in Italy. Or, hey, let's take a tour of my house, and you have a bunch of pictures of your house, and you're going from the living room to the kitchen to whatever. I mean, can you see like the possibility of like realtors with this? How freaking awesome would that be? I mean, you can basically see the house without going to it. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And then, you know, construction too. Like, here, you want to see the house that you're going to live in 6 months? Like, boom, this is exactly what it's going to look like. Are you cool with it? Do you want it? Do you want things changed? I mean, it's a lot of cool stuff. So, anyways, I guess I'll grab some here. Why not? So I'll create a new folder with, I'm going to call it VR site. Maybe, if it'll let me. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is going to be kind of what it looks like. So it looks really, really weird on a computer, but you click and drag. So you can see I have the logo here that doesn't move. I'm just kind of cruising through. And then as you can see, I have these like buttons that are hanging out in the 3D space. And you can also see I have a cursor right here. This cursor is used as what you put on the thing to have it activate. And so what I've basically said is if the cursor goes over this button, you go to another page. So if I go on this go to bedroom, it takes me into the bedroom. Now you can see these are this isn't really like 3D images or 360-degree images, so I'm like way down here on the bed. I don't know why, but it's okay. So same thing, I'm in this 3D environment, and I could go back to the living room if I want. Now you can see it's not a 360-degree image, so it gets cut off right there. So it's really obvious that, hey, this isn't smooth. I can go to the bathroom. Woohoo. So you can see it can kind of get ruined if it's not like a 360-degree image. It's not as good. And you can also see that this wasn't really a high-res image, so it's kind of looking pretty blurry. So I go back to the bedroom. No, I don't want to go back to the bedroom. Actually, I have to. It's the only one I have. I'm going to head back to the living room. All right, I'm going to watch the movie. Okay, so it's this like movie in your face 3D type thing going on. And I guess you could try to find a 360-degree video. They're out there on YouTube. And that's loud. Hold on. But this is just a cool little video of the guy driving down the Vegas Strip. And then you do need to have, and that's pretty small, I need to make that bigger, but you need to have a little button here that will take you out of it and back into the main place. Now, like I'm saying, this looks really weird on a computer. But if I were to load this website on my phone, it gets a lot cooler. And now I can start kind of looking up and down and left, right, and it's moving as if I was there. And then, of course, if you have those headsets that you can put a phone in, it gets cooler. But on a computer, it's kind of like, this is frustrating. I don't like clicking and dragging. Well, it's not meant to be on a computer, right? So anyway, so that's going to be how it kind of functions. So let's kill that. Okay. Connection timed out, I guess. So I'm just going to randomly grab some images, I guess, here. I'm going to see if I can get like New York City stuff, which it seems I can. So I'm only going to do 2 pages because I don't want this to take forever, and also I want you to be able to do a little bit of this on your own. So I will just see what we have here. So I think even though they say some of these are 360, I don't know if they actually are. This one looks like it. Yep. How big is it? Yeah, it's pretty big. All right, so I'll grab this one. I'm going to hop into my VR sites folder. I'm going to create a folder called, call it assets, because that's what A-Frame calls it. You don't have to call it assets, but I'm going to kind of stick with what A-Frame does. And I'm going to call this like NY1 for New York 1. So there's my first. Try to grab another one here. This Times Square. It is Times Square. What the heck is this? Oh, that's the, oh, awesome. That's the memorial, the 9/11 memorial. That is a killer place, by the way. If you guys ever go to New York City, you have to go see that. It is the most depressing thing you'll ever do, but it's a good depressing. It honors those people very, very, very well. Let's see. Nope, that's not really true 360. Yeah, let's go with the memorial. No, that's too small though. So I'm doing right now. No. Let's go something, maybe Statue of Liberty. As you can see, you're going to probably take a while trying to find good images if you really want to do the 360 stuff. If you have a way of doing that, yeah. I thought my phone could, but I found out it wasn't 360 images. It was just I could rotate around something.
But it won't get the whole thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't even give you enough time to go all the way around it. So I'm like, this is really stupid. Okay, that was very sad. Yeah, it was very anticlimactic, if that's the word. It was depressing. It was like, dang it, I thought this was actually going to be cool, and it definitely wasn't. All right, so I guess I'll grab this one. Got some dude jumping in the air. That's always fun, I guess. And I don't know if this is truly 360. Kind of looks like it is. We will see. I don't want to spend 10,000 years doing this. So we'll call it NY2 for New York 2. Bam. So you're going to need 4. Well, that's cool. Looks like he's up inside of there, inside of the Statue of Liberty or something. That looks pretty sweet. Man, I want a better one, and I don't want to spend forever looking for it, but some of these are good, but they're too small. On Google Images, I don't know if you guys knew, but like if you mouse over it, it'll give you the dimensions of the image. You want at least 1280 wide, and even that's going to be kind of if you can get a little more than that, then that's usually a little better. Well, that's kind of cool. Oh, I know. They're like, these are ours. Like, don't mess with these. But I mean, I get it, right? This is a newer technology, and they want to make sure that they get their kudos. Yeah, it just looks like there's not a whole lot.
The Google camera should take them.
Oh well. Good enough for now, I guess. So I wouldn't worry about getting all your pictures now. It's better that you stay caught up with me than fall behind. Just grab a couple, and like I said, they don't even have to be 360 pictures. It's just going to make it a little bit cooler if they are. So let's start this out. Oops, that's the other one. I'm going to grab this folder. We need to open up brackets because that's where we're going to do our stuff.
What is that join thingy again?
It is that. Holy cow, that's small. That. It's also on the course too. There's a link that'll give it to you on the course homepage. Okay, also we need that logo, right? Stays on the screen, doesn't go anywhere. So for mine, be like I love New York City, that logo would probably be a good one to have. And I'm going to throw a PNG in there because I want this to be kind of a see-through. I don't really like the squigglies on that. What the heck? And of course, that's not there. All right, I'll save this. I'm going to call it logo. Now, this doesn't have a transparent background, so I'm going to do that really quick. Because I don't want a floating white background on this. I want it to just be the text. And this shouldn't take very long. So throw that in there. Okay, so really all I got to do is grab the magic wand, click once, hit delete, and then it takes out all the crap. The R over here, though, is being sneaky. So I need to get out the white from there. You know what? I don't care. I just don't even want that there. So I'm just
Cardboard camera app works, by the way.
Does it?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, you can do it with the Cardboard camera app. You can do 360 images?
Yeah.
Nice. Good to know. Really good to know, actually. I'm gonna download that really quick. Is it the Cardboard app or the Cardboard Camera app?
Cardboard camera.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to save that as a PNG. Bam, call that logo. I'm just going to replace that one. And now I need a video. You know what? Let me see if there's 360 videos of Nenwar, because that could be pretty cool.
Do we need to download more videos than the 4 that we've already downloaded?
You got images, but you need to have a video for a video room.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm just going to grab one of these. Now, you got to be careful, though, because these videos, if they're really high, like a really high file size, then you're going to have some issues, especially on your website, because these videos have to download before they play. So you got to be just really careful that these aren't like, 300 megabytes. The smaller you can get it, the better. So you want the shortest you can get it, but, long enough to where it's semi-cool. But if I can, that's probably 226, 221. Oh, that's kind of cool. This crazy dude's, that freaked me out. We'll just go here, I guess. No, this actually should be pretty good. All right, so I'm going to download this. Good website called KeepVid. This lets you download it.
So you're trying to teach us how to be proper?
No. I'm just saying, like I said, with this newfound power, be responsible citizens.
You said?
All right. I'll call it NYC vid, and I'll save inside of assets. So I got my 2 pictures, got my logo, got my video that I'm going to use.
It's 3D rendered, is that fine?
Like 3D.
Like, it's a VR video, but it's 3D rendered.
I think that should be okay. I don't know.
Like, it's not real.
We got a lot of uncharted territory with this, so we may run into some bumps. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, I want to keep this open. If you guys don't have it, you want to make sure you have it open, just because we have to go to the docs. And we're going to need to grab this, because this is how we embed A-frame into our code so we can actually use it. So we are going to need this link right here, or this script tag. So I'm going to create my first HTML page. And that's kind of the power of A-frame, is if you know HTML, you can do it because it creates a bunch of tags, and it's really similar to what we've already been doing, which is slick. Now, let me save that out. I'm going to save this VR. Yeah, Times Square, right, and then Statue of Liberty. So I'll just have us start out at the Times Square. So you can basically create a web page and then use all of the A-frame tags, and then you have working VR stuff, and that's what's kind of cool here. So in the head tag, I'm going to grab this script tag with the A-frame library JavaScript file, and I'm going to throw it in here. And that's it. That's all you got to do. We can now use A-frame. So title, yeah, I guess it kind of matters. We'll just say Times Square VR. Then we need the meta tag like usual. And the order doesn't matter. Script tag can be wherever you want it to be inside of the head tag. All right, let's get started. So it starts out with this ascene tag. This is kind of like, in a way, the HTML tag, but for A-frame. So everything is going to be inside of ascene, because this is our scene. It's everything that we're going to be interacting with, playing around with. It's all going to be inside of this. So you can see that A-frame kind of created their own little HTML language here. Next tag is A-assets. This is all the stuff we're going to load in. So any images, the logo, all that kind of stuff. Now this is like preloading them. In other words, you're loading them, but you're not putting them in the 3D environment yet. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to load them, and then in another set of tags, we're going to actually put them in the 3D environment. So now we just do normal HTML here. So source, we just start loading everything that we have. So crap, I can't remember which one was which. So we're doing Times Square, so that's NY1. So I probably named that not very good. Okay, and we need to give it an ID. I'm going to give it an ID of just Times for Times Square. We need to give it an ID because that's how we load it. That's how we actually put it in the 3D environment. Is we call that ID and say, look, that thing with the ID of Times, stick it in this 3D scene that we're creating. So the other thing I need is the logo. Oops, so ID, we'll just give it an ID of logo. Now there will be more things. Those like in the other one that you saw in the kitchen and living room and stuff, like there were images floating there that I would click on, quote unquote, to go to the other places. We have to create those too. And to me, that was probably the most annoying part of this project, is I had to go in there and create images for all the different links. So just be aware. It's going to be kind of annoying, but you'll get it done.
What is, okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't get lost, but I was trying to catch up.
Yeah.
I lost what's the meaning for AC and A asset?
These are A-frame tags. So, we embedded the framework up here. So because we embedded that framework, now we can start using these tags that only work for A-frame. So these are just A-frame tags. This is setting up the scene, the whole thing, and assets are things that we're going to be using in the 3D environment that we're going to create. And then these are just normal HTML tags, obviously. So now that we've loaded them, now we can actually throw them inside of what we're going to do here. All right, so the next thing we got to do is we have to say, all right, create the environment. Like take whatever is going to be the environment and wrap it around us. Well, it's going to be that New York picture. It's going to be NY1, the Times Square picture. That's what we want to be our environment. So you do that with the A sky tag. Okay, and the source is going to be times. We're grabbing that from the ID. Remember in CSS, the pound sign refers to an ID. Well, that's not just in CSS. That's in JavaScript, that's in jQuery, and also in A-frame. So we're saying grab whatever has the ID of times and use that as our sky. Well, the sky is the environment that you're in. So we can test what we have so far. And I don't know if Chrome's going to work. We will see right now. Chrome was having some issues when I was playing around with it. Okay, we're good. So Chrome is behaving a little bit. So here we are. Now also you can see that it kind of stretched it out. And this is actually, I think it's a semi-big picture. Yeah, 1920 by 1080, but yet it still kind of stretched it. So either that's just how it handles images and it just kind of blurs them a little bit, or I need an even higher resolution. I don't know. But hey, at least we know it works. Happy days.
Mine's not showing.
So something's wrong. Check your stuff. Make sure you got the pound sign. Make sure you spelled everything right. There's not going to be any like color coding issues here because like Brackets doesn't know. Brackets doesn't really know what these tags are, so it's just going to take your word for it. Make sure you got everything spelled right. Make sure this is correct. Got a closing script tag. Script tags have to have closing tags. If they don't, it doesn't work.
Everything looks pretty on point.
Make sure when you mouse over this stuff, it comes up. That means the path is correct. Also, make sure that a sky tag is not in the assets tag, because it's not an asset. It is part of the scene.
Yeah.
And if everything looks perfect, open it in Firefox.
How do you tell brackets?
You can't. So you have to right-click your HTML file and say open with Firefox. Because it may just be Chrome is being lame and doesn't want to work. I found Chrome to be very weird. Chrome will sometimes do it, sometimes it won't. So if it's not behaving, then Firefox, again, this is supported by Mozilla, so it's kind of like it should work. If it doesn't work in Firefox, you did something wrong. Woo! Oh, look at that. That's messed up. We got a black hole. So it looks like it didn't take that part of the picture.
That's probably where he's standing in the middle. He's okay.
Yeah. Woo-wee.
Oh no.
Way to troubleshoot that crap. Alright. Sorry. I probably should have kept my code up there instead of going around in circles.
Sick. Typos are awesome.
And while we're kind of hanging out here, see what the hotkey is. So if I hit Control, while I have, you'll know you're in it because you got the little thing here, the little whatever VR headset. If you hit Control Alt I, it should load the inspector, and then you should get some crap up here, and you're able to kind of cruise around in the scene. You'll get all these different options and so forth. It'll have the other things that are loaded here. What is it on Mac? Is it working? It's going to be like maybe Command Alt I, or maybe they don't have one for Mac. I don't know.
It's Command Alt I.
Okay, Command Alt I. So we are going to like when I first started using this, I'm like, this is stupid. Like I don't know how to position things. Like I was playing with all these like numbers and like I couldn't get things where I wanted it to be. You got to use this to be able to get things to position your images and such, because you'll just see. It just makes it a lot easier. Once I found this, I'm like, okay, this is a viable tool. This is actually pretty awesome. So let me change that really quick in the thing. So you said it's Command Alt I?
Yeah.
Yeah, something popped up and I was struggling to
Okay.
say it.
It's probably Firefox.
What does A sky mean again?
Hold on.
It's the scenery. Like,
So it's the same as like background or?
Like your environment,
Yeah, it's
what's going to be wrapped around you basically.
Skyrock.
It's sky. Yeah, it's sky.
I give it the sky. Yeah.
Environment. That's how I remember.
So like in video game terms, right, it's the environment. Like if you look up, you can see the sky, you can see the mountains, it's just that thing that like wraps around you, because you can tell when you're playing video games, like, okay, this is actually a polygon that I can interact with, but the thing way out in the distance, yeah, that's just an image that they made, right? So just a really high def image of the moon or whatever, you can tell the difference. And that's really what the sky thing's doing. Okay, so we got to create the camera now. So a camera. Okay, and I'm going to give this a position. The position is the X, Y, and Z plane. So that just kind of puts it smack dab in the middle of the environment of the sky. So inside the camera, there's two things we need to create. This is the camera, right? This is when you're looking up and down and going right and turning around stuff. This is the camera. That's the thing that's moving. This is what's going to be attached to your face. So as you're moving and looking around, it's moving around with your face. So the things that we need to throw in there first is the cursor. So A-cursor. That's going to create, oh crap, I don't have it up anymore. But you remember that little circle that we were able to select things with? That's what we're creating with the cursor. So A-cursor, and we can give it a color. I'm just going to have it be white because I want it to stand out in the darkness and all that kind of stuff. In the dark portions of it. And you can change the color of the cursor from page to page. So if white doesn't work on one of the pages, then you can go dark on the other or whatever. So if I save that, come back here, you can see, boom, there it is. It's kind of a, this is like a see-through white. Geez, I don't know if white's really good on this one.
The little circle thing, that's the cursor?
Yeah. The little, yeah, this little thing that kind of stays in the middle no matter what you do. Actually, black works pretty good on this one. I mean, it kind of disappears here. But there seems to be a lot more white than black here. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with black here. Okay, and the next thing we need to throw onto the camera that's going to follow the camera is that logo. And we do that with a image. Okay, source. What's the source going to be, people?
The logo.
Like
I
that?
don't know what you named it. What you named it? Oh, no, hashtag.
Yes, sir. Okay, and I'll give it a width of 2. To be honest, I don't really know what if this is like 2 inches or 2, it's definitely not 2 pixels because it's a lot bigger. But we'll play around with it until it looks as big as we want it to be here. Now I'm just going to type in the position that I had here. I may need to go in here and manipulate it. I probably will have to. Yeah, that was kind of the hardest well, not really hardest, but the most annoying part about this is like figuring out the scale and position and all that kind of crap. But that's where that inspector makes it a lot easier. So I don't want it to rotate at all. I want it to be flat in my face.
Does it matter, like for the image, can it go after vision and cursor, or does it be the image and then cursor?
I don't think it matters because it's loading both.
Oh shit. Got a logo.
Okay, there it is. So now as I'm moving around, it moves with the camera. It's kind of squished.
Mine's perfect.
So we'll go 2-2 here. Yeah, that looks better.
No, you have to set, he needs to set a double body. So hopefully that's going to count. For you, was it called framework? The website? A-frame. A-frame. .io?
Yeah, .io.
Whoever you talk. And copy. So this is what you gotta type HTML head description, or you just technically do that. Just get rid of all that stuff. You can delete all of this. So that's why I say you can just copy it. I mean, you can copy the bottom. If they miss email. And then go back to enter on your
All right, so if I take a look at this now, and I'm going to do the Control-Alt-I, I can see, if I zoom in with the mouse wheel, I can see where my I Love New York is. I can also click, is that it? No, I can just click on it, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. There we go. So I can select it, and now I can start using these different arrows to kind of move it around where I want. Over here it tells me the position. So this is what we're going to start using to position our buttons. Because I mean, you could sit there in the code all day and just be like, okay, well, I'm going to guess on these numbers and hopefully one day it'll go where I want it to go. That's going to take you forever.
Yours looks a lot different. Your controls look a lot different than ours.
Are you in Firefox?
We are.
Maybe you guys are in something that are not the controls.
It says inspector.
But it
It's
just
just-
doesn't show all that on your screen.
Let me see what it shows. Because it may be another hotkey that gave you something different. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it shows up on Twitch.
Oh, that's definitely not it. That's Chrome stuff. So it's not Command Alt I.
Well, he's on PC.
I wonder if our coverage is on it.
Let's see if we can maybe. Yeah, that inspector is for like checking out your code.
The VR image is JPEG or PNG. I didn't think.
Shouldn't matter. Nope.
And then I have like a giant white line in mine. Is that how this viewer thing will fix that?
Giant white line. What do you mean?
Whenever I go through the 360, there's like a giant like where the I don't know where it came from because my picture looked normal. It's just like.
I'll come take a look in a minute. I gotta figure out this hotkey thing first because you guys need to know what that is. All right. So what do they call this? They call it. The Visual 3D Inspector. Okay, making you just right click maybe? I don't know. There is Control and Alt on the keyboard on a Mac, right?
Yeah.
Just try that. Don't even use Command.
Control.
Okay, it is Control-Alt.
They didn't even lie to us.
Oh gosh, that's ridiculous. Okay. I mean, it makes sense, right? That they would make it the same on both. But Macs have to go and screw everything up and always have Command be Control and whatever. Okay, on either PC or Mac. There we go.
Hey, I see the grids now that you're talking about.
Good. Happy
And the
days.
controls.
Okay. So play around in the inspector a little bit. Try to select your logo to get in there. Don't move it around. It's probably already positioned good. But at least get comfortable with it. When did that show up? So a little time in that, or it might be the image. What happens when you click and drag and move around?
Yeah, but this is in your VR site, so it's already here. There's no in here. This is VR site. It's all in that asset. Take out VR site.
Yeah. Agree.
Just interpretation.
So if that bugs you, if you need another image, you're okay with that.
Save it.
No, I'm not freaking out too much about images.
Oh, you're HVAC. Underneath her.
So you'll need to position it over the
Oh yeah,
inspector.
it's always gonna.
Control Alt I, and then you're going to be able to kind of drag
You
it
have-
around.
But you have everything.
You can zoom in
Except
and
for
out with
this.
the mouse wheel.
That last one.
No, that's
As
your
far as you
machine.
can find it.
That's just, it's
Click
the
on it,
black.
so you can just
Oh.
drag
The
it
F
down.
is full.
This is where it kind of gets, I don't know if you can say fun, but moving things around through space. Or you can go to your code. Actually, probably the better way, do this one or go to your code and play around with those position numbers.
Ours is not there, damn it. So, I was kind of, ours is not there.
It's white, right? So go back to your.
One is, see that, one's the X plane, one's the Y plane, and one's the Z. So Z is how far, close or far away it is, and Y is left and right.
Ah, so much.
No,
My
X
girls
is,
have enough here either.
X is left and right, and Y is up and down. So you need, I'm not sure which one is the Y. It's either the first one or the second one, I'm not sure. So change one of those numbers really, really like, put in like an extra 50 or something and see what changes. And then you'll know which one it is, and if it moves too far to the left, then you know that was the X plane.
Hey, can we take like a short, like tiny 5-minute break so I can go grab some VR photos of AI?
What time is
What's
it?
the idea?
9.
What time is it?
9:10.
Sorry, I'm evil. We're gonna keep going, but you can do it during our break.
Okay.
So you'll get time. I just want to keep plugging through this a little bit. I want to do. We'll take the break around 9:30 because that's when the store opens, anyways, right?
Maybe.
Hey, the store is still
It
closed.
opens.
What's going on at the store?
Inventory. They didn't get inventory in.
Oh,
Or
well,
Slack.
what the heck?
But they only have one worker.
How are we supposed to
They
eat?
just have one worker. Fuck, dude.
Okay. So, if it worked, great. The position is just that. So when you play around with these numbers, it will move stuff around. So I'm just going to see what happens here. So I'm going to throw an 80 in there. And it's like gone, maybe.
Is that your logo?
Yeah. I don't know where it went. So I can hit Control Alt I and maybe find it. So if I drop down the camera, I can check out, okay, the image. Where the heck is it? Bleh. I don't know.
Oh,
What the heck's that? Oh, that's probably what he's standing on.
there it is.
Oh, there it is. So it's just like, again, I don't know what the 80 means, or I don't know what the measurement is. It might be feet or something. I don't know, but it went way off there. So I don't like that. So I'm gonna change that back to 0. Okay, there it is. So now if I change it by, so I guess we don't want to do crazy numbers. I could do like 0.5. Okay, and it moved over to the right. Okay, so now I know that's the X-plane. So the first one is the X-plane. So I'm guessing this is probably the Y. So if I do 1.5, it just flew off again. So Control Alt I. Welcome, guys. This is the fun part about this, is trying to figure out where everything goes and what everything does. And then also I can play with this. Right, I can click and drag. Okay, yeah, that's the Y plane. X-plane, and the Z-plane, how close or further away it gets from you. Now this isn't changing it in the code.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah, nope. This is just so you can kind of play around and test and be like, okay, what do I want this to do?
Where do I want it at?
Exactly.
Would you put that in the code?
Yep, exactly. And that's what we're going to do next with the buttons and such. All right, so I don't like it over there. I'm going to make that back to 0, and then I'll do, crap, what was that? 1 point something?
1.5. I mean 0.5.
So I'll say 1.1. Nope, it's too high. So I need to go down. I'm going to go 0.8. Nope, 0.9 I think will be good. So again, welcome to this. You're going to be playing around to get things exactly where you want. So it looks like about I mean, I don't know the official thing here, but it looks like a 0.1, 0.2, like 0.1 is equal to probably about 10 pixels. So 1 would be about 100 pixels. Close. But anyways, I got the logo now where I want it. Happy days. Okay, so the next thing I need is a button that will take me to the Statue of Liberty. So this is where you'll need to create these in Photoshop. I don't care what they look like, how you do them. It can be just text if you want. Just make it cool. And I don't know how big they should. Well, about as big as the logo, really. How big is the logo? 320-ish, okay. So I'm going to make all my buttons maybe 350 by 350 or 300 by 300, something like that. So file new here in Photoshop. I'm just going to go 300, I'll go like 325 by 325. First thing I want to do is unlock this background, so I'm going to double click it and just hit OK, and then I'm going to create a new layer and then get rid of this because I don't want that white background. It looks ugly, ugly, ugly. If I had a white background on this, I'd have a white square right here going around it, and that just looks weird. You want it to be kind of floating here. You want it to be kind of see-through. You don't want that white square around it. It just makes it look bad. So now mine's just going to be text. Call it, I'll just say go to Statue of Liberty. Okay, and I obviously want this to be a little bigger. Needs to be big, not easily missed. Now, we're running into the issue, right, of like the cursor disappearing because we go into a black area. We no longer can see it. Same thing with the logo here. You can actually kind of still see the little bit of white. We don't want that. We want these buttons to be viewable no matter what. So a really easy way to combat that is just give it a stroke. I'm not going to mess too much with the font, but you'll want to, check out a font that actually matches what you're trying to do. So I can select this, and I'm going to come down here to the effects panel, and I'm going to do stroke. And I'm just going to give it a simple like white stroke. So I got black text and white stroke, so now it'll stand out no matter where it is. And I'll make it like 2 pixel stroke here. No, that's too much. I think 1 actually was probably good enough. So that's just kind of a cool trick that, I don't even really call it a trick, but it's a cool thing that I've kind of found out is just if you throw a stroke on something, it makes it viewable on almost anything. And that's why like captions, if you ever see captions on TVs and stuff, shows, Netflix, whatever, they usually have a little stroke on there just so no matter what's on the screen, you can view the letters. So that's good enough for me. Save it out. You can spend more time on that if you want. I'm going to call it statue button. And I'll save inside of assets. So now I just need to load it. Got to load it first before we can use it. Let me give it an ID of statue button. Now this is not going to be attached to the camera. It's going to be outside of the camera in the scene. So do not put this in the A camera tag. If you do, it'll be attached to the camera. It'll move around with it. We don't want that. We want it to be in a spot on the scene. We want it to stay there.
Did A tag button?
Huh?
Did A tag button?
A tag button. No, we're using the image again. So A image. Okay, and the source is going to be statue button. I got a capital B, so I got to make sure it's case sensitive. I want it to be pretty big. So width 5, height 5. Now the position, I don't really know what it's going to be because I don't know where I want it yet. So for now, I'm just going to go 0, 0, 0, and then I'm going to use the inspector to pull out where I want to put it. And the scale, for now, I guess I'll just do 1, 1, 1. I don't know what this is going to do. But, you know, like I said, we'll pull all this from the inspector. But the big thing that's different, so right now it's kind of exactly like the logo, right? But there's one thing that's different is, well, when we click it, we need it to go somewhere. We're going to have it go window.location. This is JavaScript right now. We're going to have it go to, well, a page that I haven't created yet. I'm going to call it Liberty. So liberty.html. And then that's it. So this is how you're going to put in the buttons that when you mouse over on the cursor, it will take you to the different quote-unquote environments, right? But the width and the height and position and scale and rotation, that's all going to change because I'm going to go into the inspector and figure out exactly where I want it, put it exactly where I want it. And that's actually where it gets kind of annoying.
When you put Windows locate sign, and really, what does that mean?
This is JavaScript. So window is like the whole browser window. The location for that window is going to be assigned, and it's going to be assigned liberty.html. So this is kind of like an A tag in JavaScript.
So can we put like an assignment for it to go to another image instead, just for onClick equals image source whatever in our
No, you want this to go to a different page because that's how you're going to do your other locations.
Okay.
So this is how I'm going to go to the Statue of Liberty page. So no, you wouldn't want this to go to an image or anything. This is how you go from location to location. This is how I went from the kitchen to the living room, then to the bathroom, and then back. And this is how you are able to kind of navigate through the different places. Yeah.
But since you're doing liberty, right? Looks like I'm doing my second will be section, right? Section.
Yep. You guys, if you put Liberty here, yours probably isn't going to work because this is my page. This is what I'm doing. You do need window.location.assign. All of that's going to be exactly the same, but this will be different for you depending on what you call the other page.
When you say other page, you mean
the other room, the other environment, the other location. So when I'm saying the other place, I'm talking about this. So right now I'm using this one as the sky.
Yeah.
Right? On my other page, I'm going to be using this.
So you're gonna make another HTML file.
Yep.
Not file, another file?
Yeah, another HTML file or page, yeah. Yep. So it's going to look really similar to this, but it's just going to have all the different code that works for the Statue of Liberty one. So I'm going to save this and take a look and see where it put it, or if I can even find it. I may not even be able to find it. I may have to go into the inspector. Yeah, like I'm not even seeing it right now. So this is where I got to hop into the inspector and get an idea of where the heck, where it put that. So Control-Alt-I. Okay, so there's my image. Go to Statue of Liberty. Now I know my logo is like basically when I start out, I'm like, you know, basically facing right here. Right? I think. Yeah. So I need to position this somewhere that just kind of makes sense. So I'm using the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. So I need to just kind of grab this, move it around. I can rotate it. And you're just going to be kind of moving around in 3D space to get an idea. Is that rotation even really working? Kind of. But yeah, I probably should have figured out where I want it first. Let's put it... Sure, right on the HMN logo. Why not? Okay, scale is going to be making it bigger or smaller.
And then whenever you do all of that stuff, you would copy and paste.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm rotating it. It kind of takes a few clicks here, but I'm rotating it to where it'll basically just be plastered on that. Well, I'm not going to put it on it. I'll probably put it like kind of next to it. Maybe up here a little bit. But then again, I may be doing this totally wrong. I don't know. We'll see in a minute here. Rotate it. No, not like that. Just so it's kind of right there. You can have it kind of be a little off, a little skewed if you want, which I don't really. So now there's a couple ways you can do this. I could just take these values and type them into the code. So I could just kind of come down here like this and go, okay, I kind of have it where I want. So I come down here and I just start typing these in. So for position, it'd be 19.802, 16.901, 3.045. For rotation, right here, I'd put in those values. I don't really want to do that, but you can. But so what this inspector gives you is I can download it. I can export as an HTML file, which I don't really want to do right now because I already have my file. I can copy HTML to the clipboard. That's what I want to do. Or, yeah. So I'm going to copy that to the clipboard. So I click on it once. And this is where it gets a little messy. And then usually what I would do is I'd come down here to like the bottom and I'd paste it. Okay. And so I know all of this is what I got from the text editor or the iframe, A-frame thing, whatever. And all I care about is this. So this is where you really need to know what the code's doing. So this is the image that I'm messing with. So now I can just copy that, come over here and just paste over it. And that put in the width and the height are still the same. That put in the position that I wanted, that put in the scale that I wanted, and that put in the rotation. And it kept everything that I already created. The window dot location, all of that. Now it did add material and geometry, which are empty, so they're not doing anything. So you can keep it there or delete it. Doesn't really matter. And then I can just grab all this and get rid of it. So now it's positioned exactly where I put it inside the inspector, and now we can save, and hopefully it should be, yeah, there it is. Go to Statue of Liberty. And now I can kind of be like, well, that looks okay, or looks like crap. I actually wanted it down a little bit more, or actually I like that. Maybe I'll move it up a little bit higher. I don't know. It's up to you guys. And then you can test it by putting your cursor over it. Okay, and now it says, Liberty isn't found. Well, yeah, I haven't made it yet. So, cool, but at least I know it's working. Sweet stuff. So it's up to you. It's up to you wherever you put this. Now, you're going to be making a bunch of these, right? Because you're going to have links to all your different pages. You need at least 4. Now, it's up to you how you do that. You could have all 4 links be on this one home page and you just go to the link and then go back, go to the link and go back, or you could have them, you kind of have to find them. So I would go to the Statue of Liberty, that's one page, and then maybe another one's on the Statue of Liberty, then I go to it from there. I mean, the navigation that you set up, it's up to you. Just as long as there's 4 different places that you can go, how you get to them, well, make it obvious, because if I can't find it, I'll be docking the grade. I'll be like, oh, you only have 3, when actually you had 4, I just couldn't find the 4th. So just make sure it's really obvious where your links are. I should probably have the code up, huh? And if you're freaking out right now, remember I'm recording this right now. I'm broadcasting. So this, later today, it'll definitely be in the course. And I'm going to be putting the video that I'm making, it'll just be right in here where the assignment is. Just like all the other ones. Right underneath here, I'll throw in the video.
What if you had like 1,000 viewers right
I'd be like, who are all these lame people with no lives watching? What are they doing? It's true. It is pretty cool stuff. Okay. Anyway, so I'll leave my code up here. We'll stop for now. We'll take a break. And I'm going to stop broadcasting because I don't want a half hour or 20 hours of break on here. So goodbye.